All right, greetings to our student support team. This is Jay Niebel here in the Office of Leadership Development,
Good morning, it's Donna Smith with Leadership Development.
and we want to take a few minutes today to provide you with a video job aid to allow you access to the next step of our equity procedures team development process. First, I wanted to tell you thank you for your hard work yesterday, October 1st. Your team reviewed yesterday 50 Gwinnett County Public School procedures and how they aligned to policy BAAE. And I just wanted to briefly tell you that your work was inspiring, the amount of time and commitment you put into your analysis of the procedures that your partnerships or your teams were tasked with, and the level of conversation yesterday was great. So we just really wanted to say thank you for that. And I'm going to turn to Donna now to take you to our next step, which is a quality tool known as the Solution Matrix that has been part of Gwinnett County Public Schools improvement process for years, but we've made some modifications to it to kind of align it to some of our new technologies. So Donna, if you could take our team there now.
All right, first off, we're going to go into our team notebook, which remember the best practice is you go through the portal, open up your G Suite in the background, and then open up your Microsoft 365 account, and then go to Teams. And when you do, we're going to click into our Equity Procedures notebook. You're going to go to your channel, open up your notebook. And most of the work that we're going to be doing this week will come, you'll see the tools, the resources off the analysis tool templates page. So once you're here, scroll on down to we're still in phase 1, but we're moving into step 4. A couple of resources here that Jay's going to walk you through that will take you to complete the solution matrix.
Yeah, thank you, Donna. So first, you'll see the note-taking guide. That's what we used yesterday. But where you really want to turn your focus is to that second bullet. Donna's just going to hover over that for a second. This is a summary of all of the work of the teams yesterday. So it's kind of a collective report of all of your partnerships, individual summary sheets. This is a great resource to maybe print off and have next to you as you work through the solution matrix. And then next we have just really a basic checklist. Donna, if you could open that one. So this checklist we think is a great way just to help keep yourself organized. You did review 50 procedures yesterday, and through our work, we've dismissed 17 of them, and we're left with 33. As you work through the solution matrix, okay, we feel like having this checklist by your side is an important way to proceed. Use it to check off each procedure as you complete them in the solution matrix. This will encourage you and remind you that you only do each procedure one time. And we also want to point out that when you work in the solution matrix, you do it in chunks, that when you have a few minutes, that maybe you knock out 2 or 3 of them. Okay, you can submit as many times as you like on the solution matrix, but if you use this checklist to check off the 2 or 3 that you do, okay, in one sitting, you'll be assured that you don't come back and repeat those accidentally. So this checklist is a big help. So Donna's going to take us to the solution matrix now, and as she does, just quickly its purpose. The solution matrix provides us with an opportunity to gain some voice equity. It's an equal opportunity for each member of the group to give input. And then what it does is it provides us with a statistical measure of how well the 33 identified procedures align to our equity policy, policy BAAE. And it does that through the lens of 5 criteria. So Donna's going to go ahead and just type her name in here. So each time you come in, you'll type your first name and last name in, and then you'll select your focus area or your team. We are, of course, the student support group. And then you'll scroll down to our directions. I want to turn our attention to numbers 3 and 4 here. You're going to be evaluating each procedure against the 5 criteria that you see bulleted here under number 3. Okay, you're going to ask yourself how well you feel the procedure aligns and provides support to the equity policy. Remembering what the policy states, that it ensures that students have access to the knowledge and skills they need to be contributing members of a global society. Second, you'll ask how well it addresses all stakeholder concerns, internal and external, okay, and all the different student groups listed in the equity policy. Third, and perhaps most importantly, how well does this procedure address the opportunity and achievement gaps that we have seen through our data overviews among our different student groups? Fourth, what is our capacity, our ability as a district to implement this procedure? A consideration here is the idea of support. Okay, is this a procedure that we can support with our stakeholders through staff development, okay, and other measures to allow us to make sure we implement it to its fullest. So what's our capacity and ability to do so? And fifth, we turn to data. The fifth bullet is about sustainability. How well can we monitor and measure this procedure's effectiveness through the use of data? You're going to do that on a scale. You'll have three choices. Okay, you will rate each procedure against each criteria with a 1, 3, or 5. Now, we want to emphasize that 1 means there is a low correlation, that the procedure and the criteria do not align. Okay, so just in the most simple terms, 1 would be bad. 1 is low, okay, a low correlation. 3 is a moderate correlation. And then 5 is a strong correlation between the procedure and the criteria that you're looking at. Okay, in the most basic terms, 5 would be the best, okay, or the strongest correlation between the procedure and the criteria. So I'm going to turn it to Donna now to kind of go over the functionality of the tool.
All right, when you continue to scroll down on your matrix, now the first thing that I've done, I've printed your checklist. So I know which procedures I'm going to work on first. Looking at your checklist, I've noticed that, you'll notice that it's an alphabetical list by procedure category. One thing that's unique about your team is you had multiple categories in which your procedures were pulled. So I'm going to look first and see that the first couple of procedures on yours fall under the category of business management. So on this table right here, it says my procedures category. I'm going to go down and I'm going to select business management. Sorry. When I do that, what you'll see is all of the procedures that fall under the category of business management pops up. The first one on my checklist, this is an alphabetical list, is facilities and grounds alterations. My next one is race and ethnicity reporting, followed by data access and security. And there may be a couple more, but just for the purposes of this, I'm going to stop there. But here's what I want you to pay close attention to. You can check as many of these as you want that apply. My recommendation would be when you do your chunks, do them by category. The majority of yours are under the student category, but you've also got some in instructional programs and also in personnel as well as general public relations. But when you check all up here that you want to evaluate in one sitting, if you continue to scroll down, a matrix has been populated for each individual procedure that you checked. So you don't have to do one procedure at a time. In other words, we don't want you to sit and have to re-enter into the matrix 33 times. You can do it one time or you can do it 5 times, however many times you're chunking your procedures. So the first one I selected was the data access and security. So what I'm going to do, just for the purposes of this video, is just kind of randomly select how I would rate them. But this is using the criteria as well as the indicators that Jay talked to you about just a second ago.
Now it is mandatory that you bubble in each of the options. If for some reason you were to skip one, it would not allow you to submit. It would instead remind you to make sure each are checked. So Donna, what do I do now?
So now you're going to submit your form. You get a simple message that says it was completed. Again, if you have to go back and do 5 or 6 more, use the same link and the link you find on your analysis tool template page in your notebook under section 4. But I also want to show you what the end result is going to be. What we're doing on the back side, when we get all of your team's data, now this was from a group earlier this week, we're able to provide for Dr. Welch, and in this case for Dr. Thigpen, a list from highest to lowest of how you as a team rated your procedures. So on the left here, you've got just an overall list, and then I can also provide him with some data, even drilling down to each individual procedure and by indicator how you as a team rated it.
Yeah, so thank you, Donna. So this is what we're most excited about. This is our opportunity to narrow that list down to the 4 procedures that we really want to focus on moving forward as we move into phases 2 and phase 3 of the process. So just a quick review. We would really appreciate this being done by end of day, October 13th. Okay, that would be our deadline that would allow us to compile our data and move to our next steps. We do not meet again until October 22nd. But we would prefer for this step of the process to be done by end of day, Tuesday, October 13th. We encourage you to move in chunks, that is to sit down and do 2, 3, or maybe 4 procedures at a time over the course of the coming weeks, and then to use that checklist and to mark them off as you do. Please remember, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach us anytime via Teams, an email, or just give us a call. Thank you so much. We hope you have a great weekend and a great fall break.